Phantom Love is a poignant musical about life and death in the trenches of the First World War, but it's also a story of angels and hope for the future. Penned by Tracey Dean Powell, the musical premiered to critical acclaim at Whissendine Village Hall in Leicestershire in November 2012. Musician Tracey says it all began a while ago.
It came from an inspiration that I had just over 2 years ago, but it's like with all my songs, the inspiration comes, and when it sort of flows through I can write, and if it doesn't I can't. So like with my songs and the script with the musical, the thoughts came, the inspiration came, and it just flowed. So yeah, I've written songs in sort of an hour, less than an hour sometimes. So it all started with this little niggling thought that wouldn't go away. I think that it has a lot to give, not only musically, but sort of production-wise, but educationally as well, because the characters that are involved in the musical, I've tried to bring out various different characters to bring it alive to the people in the audience. This is the reality of the war and the people involved in that war at the time, and indeed war today.
Who draws the line between right and wrong? Who draws the line under what's been done? Who draws the line when it crosses through the line of remembered names of those we...
The show's musical arranger is Clive Rogers, musical director of the City of Leicester Male Voice Choir.
The tunes are very strong, very comfortable. Certainly when she came to me at the beginning, they're very folksy, which was her style. So for a musical, you can't have everything that's in that style. So in my arrangements, I've tried to make changes so that there's a variety in the music and people don't get used to hearing the same sort of music all the time. But essentially, they're very good.
How would you see something like this being put forward later on to go on the professional stage?
Well, we'd love to see that happen. Certainly, potentially, it's a very strong, and I think it's the sort of thing that people identify with, because everybody in this country is affected by the First, Second World War and the wars that still continue. So people understand what's being said and the emotions being felt in this musical.
Some of the audience at the Village Hall premiere said Phantom Love was worthy of a West End stage venue. Tracey says she would just like to see her musical live on.
What I'd like it to do is to live on, and that's absolutely right. To have this being performed in a bigger sort of theatre, for it to live on, because I think it is timeless, because war, whether it's World War I or World War II or current day, the suffering, the pain, the doubt, the fear, is still very real today as it was then. I suppose with World War I they didn't have the technology, so it was very much out there on your own. And I think that is something that I think the youngsters of today, or even some people, they need to take that on board, that they didn't have the technology. These lads were out there as young as 17, 18, with no communication, very hard experiences, and not knowing if they went over that top, whether they were going to live another day. They were meeting their destiny, and I think that's what I would like to bring home with this musical. But yes, I think it's going to be. I'd love it to live on.
You are ready for when they come.